Hey everybody, Chris the old ass retro gamer here, back for another video game collection live stream. Today I'm going to be talking all about the Nintendo Wii. I say this also every time I do one of these live streams, and I don't do these to brag, to be like, look at all these games I have in my collection and you don't. It's nothing like that. I do these for reference, for starters. Number two, it's also to have a visual record of everything in my collection currently, just in case there is some sort of event that happens, like a fire or a robbery or something like that. I can say to the insurance people, look, you can see all the stuff I have. I've showed it off live. It was in my hands. It was mine. Reimbursement, please. Sort of thing. So that's the main reason I'm doing it. And also, extra content for the channel. I've been pretty slow on doing edited content lately. Haven't had a whole lot of free time. Got two podcasts that I do. I also been working on some screenplays and trying to actually play some of these games in my collection. I mean, if you've watched any of these video game collection live streams, I have a lot of stuff. I need to start playing some of it. So I'm trying to dedicate more time to actually playing these games that I'm spending all this money on. So the Nintendo Wii. I did not purchase it when it first came out. I want to say it came out like in November or whatever, the year that it came out. And I was like, no, thank you. And I ended up, I want to say it was in January, maybe like 3 months after it had come out. It was January or February. I was visiting the local Best Buy, and I was in the video game section looking at some video game stuff, and an employee came up to me and handed me a number and says, if you're interested, we're going to get a supply or a shipment of Nintendo Wiis this weekend. If you would like to wait, in line before we open, we're going to have you'll be able to get one first thing in the morning when the store opens. What was it, Saturday or I think it was a Sunday. So come back on Sunday. Here's a number, and if you show up with the number, we'll give you a place in line. I'm like, okay. And I thought about it, and I was like, why not? I had the money to get it. I had money to get a couple of games along with it. I said, sure, let's do it. So I waited in line for like 2 hours before they opened and got myself a Nintendo Wii. Also picked up a couple of games, and aside from Wii Sports, I was not really all that impressed with the console. I was like, the bowling game is fun. I really like the bowling thing, but the couple of games that I did end up purchasing on day one, well, I had already purchased a game months in advance. I had purchased a game. I found a copy of Twilight Princess for the Wii at a local Circuit City, and it was already discounted like a month after it came out. So I picked it up, and me and my friends picked up copies of our own. So I had that already. That I didn't mind. That game was pretty cool. The stuff that I bought that day, aside from the Wii Sports that came with the console, I was not that big on. And I'll tell you which ones they were when I get there. And for some reason, I have like a light bloom on my scalp. Whatever. And I eventually grew to enjoy it. The motion controls took a little bit of getting used to, and I was not a big fan of them. And I want to say it was like I had it for 2 years, and I was like, you know what? These games aren't getting any better. Yeah, like I think Metroid Prime 3 had just come out, and that was the last game I bought for the Wii. I played it for a little bit, and I was just kind of like, yeah, this isn't enough to make me want to keep this stupid thing. So I sold it to a guy that I worked with because I was going to be moving into Chicago in a couple of months, and I needed some money to have for, the deposit. So I sold him my Wii and all the games that I had, and he took them at a pretty good price. He paid me a lot of money for that. And I didn't really think twice about it. I want to say maybe 3 months before I decided to get back into collecting, I had the opportunity to get a Wii again because my parents had bought a Wii because they had played the bowling game when I was living near them. They really liked it. They went out and bought a Wii of their own. They had a nice little selection of games. I actually had bought a few games for them for Christmas a couple of times. And eventually my mother was like, I don't want this thing anymore. I think it was just after my father died. She's like, yeah, I don't want this thing anymore. Your father played it. I don't play it. She's like, do you want it? And I said no. So she gave it to a friend of my brother's. And then like 3 months later, I made the decision to get back into gaming, and I was like, I was stupid because my mom and dad had a couple of really good games. They had like the boxed GoldenEye 007 and all that, and I was like, oh, I was a fool, but whatever. And then the following Christmas, no, that was probably in the summer. And then that Christmas, so I got back into collecting like in October of 2013. That Christmas, we went to visit some relatives in Ohio, and my mother found out that my cousin my cousin Angelo was going to be getting rid of his Wii because he had just gotten a PS3, and my mom was going to buy it for me as a gift. So she paid him $50 for his Wii console, all of his collection of games, and whatever accessories he had. She gave it to me as a gift. It was fine. It was a lot of shovelware. I didn't care. But it was a nice jumping off point to get back into collecting for the Wii. So collecting for the Wii, when I first got back into collecting, was extremely easy. You could go anywhere and find games super cheap. GameStop, half-price books, gas stations, the library. What's up, Chum Nasty? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. And I was finding stuff all the time. And at the beginning of when I got back into collecting, I wasn't going for games that I wanted to have back in my collection. I was just going for sheer numbers. And I was buying any Wii game I could find, whether if I wanted it or not, which was not a good thing. Eventually, I went through my collection and just pared down all the garbage that I had in the console, because let's be honest, the Wii was filled with nothing but shovelware. There were interesting games that eventually came out for the console, but when I owned it, I didn't think there were any yet, and it was once I had sold the console, like 2 years after it came out, that I realized that I made a mistake. So I started looking at the collection, or the library of the console, and I was like, wow, there's some pretty cool stuff here. Not all of it requires motion controls, which is what I did not like about the console to begin with. So, I have pared down my collection a lot. I got rid of all the shovelware, the stuff that I got from my cousin, the stuff that I bought over the years. I got rid of it all. And I'm just focusing now on I think there's maybe 10 more games I want to get for the Wii before I think I'm completely done with collecting for it. Some of them are pricey. There are not a lot of pricey games for this console. A lot of stuff is dirt cheap, especially nowadays. You can just go to any old GameStop and they will give you stuff for 50 cents. I found a lot of stuff at GameStops dirt cheap, almost giving them away for free. So, let's get into the console, or let's get into the games, shall we? Console. Okay, so, starting off with, this is kind of shovelware-y, but I like what it is, and that's Agatha Christie, and then there was none, and then there were none. It's based on an Agatha Christie story. It's a murder mystery, and I just thought it would be kind of cool to have one of those point-and-click adventure games with a lot of text and all that, kind of like Myst. To mess around with, take advantage of what the Wii was capable of doing, which was motion control-y. Instead of using a mouse, use a Wiimote. So I picked this up at at GameStop for like $1, so I did not care. So it's one of the few shovelware-y sort of games that I kept in my collection. Next is Alien Syndrome. This is a remake of the classic Sega arcade game. I do own the original, an original version of it for the Sega Master System. I think this also came out for the PS2 or something, but it's a third-person version of Alien Syndrome. It's been expanded. It's a lot bigger than the old arcade game was. Excuse me, I'm still kind of getting over that flu that I had a few weeks ago. And it's pretty fun. It's basically just run around, shoot aliens with different sorts of laser guns, and you're good. Cannot complain. If there's one thing that the Wii is known for, it has a lot of rail shooters, or like light gun games, because the Wiimote can be used like a light gun. There are attachments that you can use. You can fit your Wiimote and your nunchuck into, and it turns it into a gun that you can use for all these light gun games. I have one sitting right over here. I'll show you in a few minutes. But here is one of the light gun games, and that is Attack of the Movies 3D. Comes with 4 pairs of 3D glasses. I don't remember if this actually has them or not. No, it does not, but it does not really matter, because that kind of 3D makes me pass out. But basically what this is, it's a on-rail shooter, and it just goes through a lot of familiar movie scenes, like Jaws, and like Independence Day, and Star Wars, and stuff like that. Zombie movies, Godzilla type stuff. It's not licensed, from those movies. It's just like riffing on them. But it's actually not that bad of a game. I enjoy it. I got this for like $1 at half price books, so why not? The Nikon pistol grip. I'm not sure I know which one that is. I know that the like the Resident Evil light gun games came with like a rifle attach or a rifle peripheral. I picked this one up because it's funny, and it's a licensed game, and it is very shovelware-y, but I didn't care. I got this at GameStop for like $1 or $2. Balls of Fury. Yes, that's Christopher Walken playing ping pong. So, absolutely had to have it for the comedy factor. The movie is really stupid, but it's enjoyable. But it's ping pong with a Wiimote. Why not? The common white one? Not familiar. This is awesome. This is not shovelware. This is the furthest thing away from shovelware. It is another licensed game, though. Batman, the Brave and the Bold, the video game. This was developed by one of my favorite companies, Way Forward. This is a side-scrolling platformer beat-em-up based on the Saturday morning cartoon, which I've never watched. But the cool thing about this is you start finding characters and you start unlocking them, and you can eventually start using them instead of Batman. You got like Aquaman and Green Lantern and Shazam and Robin and all this kind of stuff. And then the cool thing is, I still haven't figured out how you do this, but it says you can control Batmite in the Wii version by linking it to the Nintendo DS version. How do you link a Wii to the, to the DS? Well, I've never actually owned a DS. I've only had a 3DS, so I don't know if there was some sort of a plug or a peripheral that you could buy that lets you do that, but that's a new one for me. I don't know what that is. But the graphics are fantastic. It controls well. It is a lot of fun. It looks like a cartoon. It is fantastic. And there's also a Nintendo DS version of that, which I also highly recommend. Here we have... This still surprises the hell out of me. We have Boom Blocks and the sequel... Boom Blocks. Wow, that's a tongue twister. I never really got hung up on that. Boom Blocks Bash Party. These were developed by Steven freaking Spielberg. You can see it on both of them. What it basically is it's like playing Jenga, but instead of like pulling the blocks out, your job is to blow them up. It is actually pretty fun, and as a party game, I highly recommend it. They are pretty cool. Got those at half-price books, real cheap. Here's another Way Forward developed one. It is I do believe, remake of a Nintendo game, an NES game. A Boy and His Blob. This game is absolutely fantastic, charming, great graphics. It's a puzzle game it's a puzzle platformer, actually. You're this little kid who befriends this alien blob, and with every flavor of jelly bean that you feed him, the blob will turn into an item that you could use to solve some sort of an environmental puzzle. One might turn him into a ladder that you might need to ascend to another level. One might turn him into an umbrella that you need to use to float down to a lower level without dying. Trampoline, something like that. And it's really fun. I really enjoyed the classic game for the NES. I have that also. But the graphics in this game are beautiful, and it's fun to play. And the thing is, when I first bought this, I got this off of Amazon, and when it showed up, the artwork was like a photocopy. And I contacted that dude so fast. I was like, you owe me the real artwork. I was like, I am not accepting this photocopy bullshit. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you'd mind. I was like, yeah. People mind. People notice these sorts of... Wow. People notice these sort of things. Like me. I'm a collector. Yeah, give me the real thing. And then he sent it to me. And all was good. But I did give him a bad review. Because F that guy. Tried to pull one over on me. Sucker. Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, the director's cut. This is an adventure game. Point and click. Almost. It's like playing Monkey Island or one of those games, like a LucasArts adventure game. And it's a long-running series. I have Broken Sword games for at least 3 different consoles. This one is really cool. It's like playing a cartoon. I really enjoyed this one. I haven't beaten it yet. I really should. I need to put this on my backlog roulette list that I'm doing with the Super Enabler Brothers podcast with Jason of Corpse Blood Gaming. I need to beat this one. It looks fantastic, and I enjoyed what I had played of it. Still haven't played this one, though. Got this at GameStop. Calling. It's a horror game by Hudson, and it's like one of those Japanese ghost child horror games. There's also one based on The Grudge, which I really need to find. That's one of the expensive ones. Didn't think you'd care. Yeah, I did. This is pretty awesome. Castle of Shikigami 3. This is a vertically scrolling shmup. I have all the other games in this series. There's one for the PlayStation 2. That's part 2. I have that. And then there's Mobile Light Force, which came out on the PS1, which is actually the original Castle of Shikigami, just renamed Mobile Light Force, and it makes no frickin' sense. Funny thing is, there's also a Mobile Light Force 2 for the PS2, which is Castle of Shikigami 2. So there's actually 2 versions of Castle of Shikigami 2 available on the PS2. One's called Mobile Light Force 2, and then there's this. But it's a bizarre-ass bullet hell shooter, and you have like a bunch of different characters you can choose from. Each one have different attack patterns and special weapons that you can use while you're playing, and it's a lot of fun, really hectic. I enjoy this one a lot. It's very strange. Still haven't played this one, though. Castlevania Judgment. I spent so much time trying to track this down. Super cheap. I did not want to pay a lot of money for it. This was one of the pricier ones, at least when I got back into collecting in 2013. Castlevania Judgment is actually a one-on-one fighting game in Castlevania Land. And I thought that sounded intriguing. All these different characters you can play as, like Richter and Simon and Alucard and all that kind of stuff. Sifa, all that. And it looks fantastic, and I just have not gotten around to playing it yet. Put this on my backlog roulette also. These are rad, though. I have the Conduit Special Edition and the Conduit 2 Limited Edition. Each one has like a foil cover, which is pretty rad. First-person shooters on the Wii. Toward the beginning of the Wii's life, I had like 3 first-person shooters, and they sucked. I'll tell you what they are when I get there, because I still have them in my collection. They sucked. And, well, actually, no, one I refused to repurchase because it was that bad. And I was kind of like done with first-person shooters on the Wii. Only thing is, after I got rid of it, the good ones started to come out. Conduit are good. I mean, the Conduit games are good. They are really fun. They control extremely well. And they're fun to play. And part 1 was so good, it got a sequel. Cannot complain. Took me forever to find that limited edition of part 2, though. Forever. Cruisin'. This is, part 4 of the Cruisin' series by Nintendo, or Midway. Nintendo, I think, released them on the Nintendo 64. But Midway, like, there was, Cruisin' USA and Cruisin' America, or Cruisin' this and Cruisin', I don't remember how many of them there were. But yeah, this is just an updated version, and it looks almost exactly like the arcade game used to back in the day. It looks like poop. But it's a fun little diversion, arcadey racer. Can't complain. Got Judgment in a garage sale bundle. Also haven't tried it. Aw, I'm sorry. Well, thanks for stopping by, Chum Nasty. I really appreciate it, though. Enjoy the rest of your workday. This one is awesome. I bought this twice, actually. Cursed Mountain. This is the limited edition. I had the original version. It was one of the first games I actually purchased for the Wii when I got back into collecting in 2013. Got it off of Amazon for like $3 brand spanking new. Then I found out that there was this limited edition, and I enjoyed what I had played of the game so much that I was willing to repurchase it at a higher price point. I think this was like $15 or $20. It's in a steelbook, and the limited edition comes with the game and also a soundtrack. I think one side is a making of video, and the other side of this disc is the soundtrack. But this is a Resident Evil style, it's actually more like Resident Evil 4 style survival horror game that takes place in Tibet. It's actually pretty cool. It takes a little while to get used to the controls. It is on the Wii after all. The controls aren't nearly as good as the Resident Evil remakes that came out for the Wii. But it's fun once you get into it, and highly enjoyable, and kind of freaky. This one's awesome. I picked this up because I was watching the Game Grumps play this. I think they only played this for like 2 episodes, and they're like, yeah, we need to move on to something better, even though they were having a lot of fun playing it. But I had fun watching them play it, and I absolutely said I needed to have it in my collection. And like 3 days after I saw the last video where they played this, I found it at Disc Replay by where I work. And it's Deadly Creatures. Okay, so this is a game where you play as either a tarantula or a scorpion. You have to alternate between the two. And there's some sort of a mystery going on, because as you are crawling through the underbrush and little caves and tunnels and whatnot, there's these two characters that are like walking around outside, and you get to hear the conversations that they're having, and that's where the story comes from. And one of the people is voiced by Billy Bob Thornton, and the other one is Dennis Hopper. What? But yeah, you end up fighting other animals and other insects and stuff like that. There's like a giant snake that you fight, bigger scorpions and stuff like that, bigger spiders. It's a lot of fun. It's weird. I'm deathly afraid of spiders and tarantulas and shit like that, so this is kind of therapeutic in a way, I guess. I don't know. Possibly. It's a fun game. It's just weird. Here's a really cool on-rail shooter. I think this is an on-rail shooter. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's why I bought it. Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop. I bought this because somebody told me that this was an on-rail shooter version of Dead Rising, so I said, why not? Still haven't played it, though, so there's that. This one is an awesome on-rail shooter. You want to talk about a great on-rail shooter for the Wii? It is Dead Space Extraction. It's like a sidequel to the 3 Dead Space games that came out on the PS3 and the 360. But it is just as good. I mean, even though you don't really have any control over what's going on, it's basically like you're letting the game tell you where to go and you just shoot everything that shows up on screen. It's fantastic. It has the atmosphere of the Dead Space games from the other consoles. The aliens, the creatures are all there, the monolith, all that stuff. It feels like Dead Space, it's just you're playing it a different way. And it is great. Absolutely fantastic game. Great graphics, great music, great everything. I love it. Love it! Blob and Blob 2. I haven't played these a lot, but the only thing I really remember, because I got these a long time ago, only thing I really remember about these is, like, the worlds have been, like, turned into black and white, and you have to return color to the worlds. So you, like, I don't know if it's like you run over things or you shoot them or whatever, but yeah, it's all about making things colorful. And I enjoyed the little bit that I remember I played of the first one. I have not played the second one, but I enjoyed it. I probably need to put those on my list also for my my roulette. Dewey's Adventure. I picked this up a couple of years ago, I think. It was one of the last games I do believe I bought from Disc Replay before they shut down. At least the Disc Replay by me. I know there's another one I should probably go to at some point. But yeah, this one requires the motion controls. You have to hold the Wiimote sideways, and I usually hated doing that. But it's like a platformer with this like wannabe mascot by Konami. It's actually not too bad. I remember Felix the Brett telling me that this one was actually pretty cool. When he saw my weekly picture of the games that I buy every week, I put a picture up of all the games I've added to my collection every weekend. And when he saw that one, he was just like, hey, that was a little hidden gem there. I'm like, don't use that term with me, bro. Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. Okay, so this one is kind of like playing, what is it, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat a little bit, but this one is more of like a platformer, I think, or is this like a racing game? No, this is like a racing game, but you're flying. But you have to like use the nunchuck and the Wiimote like their drums and motion controls. Eat my ass. Nah, I bought it because I got it real cheap. It is completely complete though. I mean, this is heavy. This manual. Look how thick. How much information do you need to play this game? Look how thick that manual is. I bet half of it's like, part of it's like in English, part of it's in Spanish, and part of it's in French. Donkey Kong Country Returns. This got remade on the, was it the 3DS, I think? But yeah, this is like the first Donkey Kong Country game in a long time. And it's not the best. I enjoyed the little bit of it that I played. I have not beaten it. I haven't beaten most of these games. But it feels like Donkey Kong Country. It's just not, it doesn't have that old school feel. This one is still sealed. Haven't played it, obviously. Dragon Blade Wrath of Fire. All I know is it's like a beat 'em up, and you can fly a dragon. I think. Oh no, you have the powers of the dragon. You shoot flames. Put it over here. I picked this one up because this is one of those like first person. It's almost like a first person shooter, rail shooter, but you use swords. Dragon Quest Swords and the Masked Queen and the Tower of Mirrors. Yeah, it's like in the first person, and you hold the Wiimote like a sword hilt, and you slash at bad guys as they come at you. And there's a couple of games I also own that do the exact same thing as this. This is probably the one that I think works the best. Well, maybe one other one works a little bit better. But I had a lot of fun playing this when I tried it out when I first got it. It is pretty cool. Elebits, this was recommended to me by my friend Elizabeth. She said that she picked this one up and it was pretty fun. I played it a little bit, but it's like all about using electricity. You know, these little characters or whatever, and I think they can travel along electrical currents and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Need to spend more time playing that. I know there's more in this series, but this is the first Endless Ocean. It's like a chill sort of, let's just hang out underwater, go a little scuba diving, explore some ruins, not really have much to do. Yeah, and then the sharks show up and I shit myself. So, probably the reason why I haven't bought the other games in the series. I think this one is also a first-person... No, this is a third-person action game. Escape from Bug Island. I got this in a lot of games off of, I think, eBay. And I don't think I've played this one yet. But, yeah, it's just like a third-person action game where you're up against giant bugs. They brought back, or Nintendo brought back an old franchise from the NES days. I don't think there had been any other games in the series since the NES. So, I was excited about that. Excitebots, truck racing. Remember Excite Bike? This is another game in the series. There's also another one. Yep, right here. Excite Truck. So, we got Excitebots and Excite Truck. It's just they're racing games. They're very arcadey. You can do tricks and stuff as you're in the air if you do like a jump or something like that. And you can use the Mario Kart wheel attachment for, at least for Excitebots. I think this is the second one. Excite Truck, I think it was a launch game for the Wii, I do believe. But they're actually pretty fun. I mean, they're obviously not going to be like Excite Bike, because that was just, 8-bit side-scrolling racing game. But I can't complain. I enjoyed it. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, The Crystal Bearers. When it comes to the Wii, I have not played any of the RPGs except for maybe Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So a lot of these I'm not going to be able to talk about. But RPG, Final Fantasy, want to get all the Final Fantasy games. Why? I don't know. A lot of them end up disappointing me. I got this from Jason at Corpse Flood Gaming. He asked me if I had this. I told him no. And he sent it to me. The only thing I had to do was get the artwork. It was the only thing missing. And I found that right away on eBay, pretty cheap, and I made it a complete copy. And this is one of the more expensive games on the Wii. Why this franchise is so sought after, I don't know. I mean, it's good, but why? Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. I think the only Fire Emblem game I don't have that's still kind of pricey is the one on the GameCube. But yeah, he contacted me. He was just like, hey, I found a copy of this. It just doesn't have the artwork. You want it? And he sent it to me for free. Actually, we kind of did a trade, but I mean, I think he was intending on sending it to me for free. I just sent him a bunch of stuff to say thank you. So technically, it might have been considered a trade. Whatever. It's an RPG tactical strategy game. And the series has been going on forever. So I haven't had a chance to play it yet, though. This I want to play, but I want to play it. I haven't played it. I want to play it with people. I want to play it with friends because it's a board game by Nintendo and Square Enix. Fortune Street. So if you ever wanted to play a game with Mario and Donkey Kong and Slimes from Dragon Quest, this is your game. But yeah, it's like a board game like Monopoly. So I guess you can consider it like Mario Party-esque, I guess. Maybe a little more complicated. But I have not played it. I want to, but like I said, I would rather do it with friends and stuff like that to get the full effect. Because board games are always more fun with friends, are they not? Fragile Dreams, Farewell Ruins of the Moon. I don't think this is No, this is an RPG. This is just an adventure game, but it's like a horror adventure game. And I found this at GameStop, really cheap. Was when they had a buy 2 get 1 free, and this was my free game. So I picked it up. Still haven't played it, though. Everybody's played one of these games. Geometry Wars Galaxies. It's got another one of those foil covers. It's all shiny and sparkly. See that stuff? That's so pretty. But, yeah, this is like playing a twin-stick shooter. But you're like in a little arena. Everything is wireframes. Super fun. The first time I played a Geometry Wars game, I think it was on the 360. It was like a launch game for the Xbox Live on the console. So I remember I had that. played the shit out of it, and why not get it for a console? Why not, indeed? I picked this up for a whole $1 at, what was the name of the store? The Disc Replay. Ghost Squad. It's a, this one is also like playing Time Crisis or a first-person, not for, on-rail shooter. So it was by Sega. It looked kind of cool. It was $1. I said, why not? And then Radical Reggie was like, you made a good choice, because he saw the picture where that was in it, and he was like, yes, here's another one you need to buy. And he sent me a picture of him holding this other on-rail shooter that's similar to that. It took me forever to find it, but you'll see it. It's later in the video. Picked this up because why not? It looked funny. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Still haven't played it, but I'm assuming it's like playing an episode of the cartoon, or a couple episodes of the cartoon. Superhero Lawyers. It sounded funny, so I said, why not? And it was dirt cheap. So was this. Hell's Kitchen, the game. Haven't been able to bring myself to play it. I used to love Hell's Kitchen, the show, and then it just like started feeling so badly scripted. I was like, yeah, I'm done with it. I haven't watched it since probably season 7. So yeah, it's a cooking game, and I love cooking, so why not? Dude, there's a cooking mama. I'd rather go with Gordon Ramsay, have him call me a donkey. House of the Dead 2 and 3 return. On-rail shooters, if there ever were some. Absolutely have to have the House of the Dead games for this console. Yeah, this is a remake of part 2 and 3. I don't think we've ever gotten 4 except on the PS3, but that was like a download-only game. Need to download that. Played that at the Midwest Gaming Classic with Jason of Corpse Flood Gaming last year at the convention. But yeah, can use the Zapper attachment to play this. Absolutely love it. I love the House of the Dead games. Including House of the Dead Overkill. Oh my god, this game. Okay, so I knew of this game's existence. I did not have a Wii at the time. My friends introduced me to this game. My friends Nick and Lorelei. But they were. I went to visit them. They lived like a good 45 minutes away from my house, and we're playing games, and we went out to dinner and all this kind of stuff. And they were like, "Hey, let's play this Overkill game. You're gonna love it." And I was like, "Okay." And they beat it. I beat it with them. And this is the most twisted game I think I've ever played. Like, you have no idea. What happens in the finale of the game, like, made my jaw drop. I was like, this is in a video game? Somebody thought this was a good idea. Okay, then. Video games. It is an on-rail shooter also, but it is funny, and there's cursing all over the place, and gore, and real weird sexual things happening. It's uncomfortable a few times. But had to have it. It's a lot of fun. Great on-rail shooter. This is still sealed. This is one of the games I got from my cousin Angelo when my mother bought the Wii for me for Christmas. And also one of the only games that we got from him that I kept. Most of the games he had were like shovelware crap, like Hotel for Dogs and all these like 500 Carnival games in one, on one disc type of thing. But Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings. When I saw that he had this and he hadn't even opened it yet, I was like, dude, come on, it's Indiana freaking Jones. And I do believe this is a completely original game. It only came out on the Wii. Maybe it was on computers or something at the time. I don't know. But it looked really cool. I still haven't played it because it's still sealed. I will eventually get around to it. Another licensed game. Picked this up when I was hanging out with Captain Algebra. When he came to visit, we went to Video Games Then and Now, and they had this there. I've been looking for this for a long time, especially for the 3DS. Couldn't find it really cheap. Got this for like $2. Jaws Ultimate Predator. You know me and sharks. We do not get along. I see one and I immediately wet myself. But I keep on buying all these games that star sharks or feature sharks because I'm a glutton for punishment. But yeah, you get to play as Jaws, and you get to eat all these types of things, and people, and boats, and squids, and other underwater animals, and fight people in gigantic underwater diving suits that look like they're out of a James Bond movie. What's not to like? Okay, so I need the special box for this. KL. Okay. Got this in a trade. What was it for? I was in a group on Facebook. I don't think I'm in the group anymore. The group doesn't exist anymore. Some guy said that he was willing to trade video games for like horror movie memorabilia. And no. This was for the okay, so This was for the Amiibos. I had gotten an Amiibo of Little Mac when it first came out, and the Wii Sport, or Wii Fitness Trainer, or the Wii Fit Trainer. And at the beginning, when the Amiibos first started coming out, those were some of the hardest ones to find. Those were like some of the rare ones. And I had them, because I pre-ordered them. And I'd come to the point where I was like, I wanted the Pit Amiibo. It was like in the second wave. Couldn't find the Pit anywhere. I went all over the place, and I realized I was spending way too much time looking for these stupid little things. And it was like stressing me out. And I was like, you know what? I don't need this crap. They need to go. So I put a picture up in a couple of Facebook groups, and I was like, I'm getting rid of my Amiibos. Anyone want to trade for stuff? And one guy wanted my Little Mac, and he traded me for the Kirby 20th Anniversary Dream Collection Special Edition for the Wii. And this comes with the game and a big art book. Yeah, it's a celebration book. It's just a bunch of like random pictures from the games and stuff like that. All the different games that are in the series. And I think the game actually has the soundtrack in there also. Give me a second. Yes, Kirby Special Edition soundtrack on top of the game. And what is on here? This has Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy, Kirby's Adventure on the NES, Kirby's Dream Land 2 on the Game Boy, Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo, Kirby's Dream Land 3 on the Super Nintendo, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards on the Nintendo 64, and it says that the original graphics and content have been preserved in this collection. Each of them have new challenge stages and a Kirby's History mode. So, Kirby games at that time when I traded for this were really expensive. Like every Kirby game, except unless it was something that was brand spanking new, was going for a ton of money. And I had been looking for this one because I had never played a Kirby game before, and I wanted to. So, when the guy says, well, I have this Kirby's Adventure or Kirby's Anniversary collection or whatever still in the box, I was like, yeah, I'll trade you my Little Mac. Better than having that little piece of shit on my shelf. Why did I put it back together? This thing gets separated. Derp, Chris. But they're great games. I really enjoy the Kirby games. At first, like I say, I always say this when I talk about Kirby. They always look like they're little kids' games at first glance. But when you play them, there's some technique and there's some shit in there that little kids are not going to appreciate and probably would find really frustrating. Also picked up Kirby's Epic Yarn. This was one of the really cheap ones. When I got back into collecting, this is, I think, one of the first games I picked up, and I got this for maybe $5. Beautiful graphics. Everything in this game is made out of yarn. And I really like how they keep doing things like that for the future Kirby games, at least the ones that I've played, like on the Wii U. There was the Kirby one where everything looked like it was made out of clay, which I thought was really good. And then there's the other new one, too, where everything looks like it's like a... I think they went back to the yarn thing. But Epic Yarn, fantastic platformer with the whole yarn mechanic. I love it. Absolutely love it. Played the crap out of it. Never beat it, though, because... Duh. And this was the really expensive one. And then I think the Nintendo did a reprint of it out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden they were all over GameStops, all over the place, really cheap. So I found a copy of Kirby's Return to Dreamland. This is, I guess, Kirby's Dreamland 4. So it's another platformer with Kirby. Awesome. Played it for a little while when I first got it because I was so stoked that I was able to add it to the collection, and absolutely love it. Picked this one up when I was visiting my brother in LA. Got this at Game Dude. If you live in LA or if you're near LA and you're a video game collector, go to Game Dude. Your brain will melt. It is amazing. I love that place. I wish I could afford to go visit my brother more often so I can hit that place up. But Klonoa. This is the first Klonoa game I've ever owned. And I saw it there on the shelf, and I was like, I didn't know there was a version of that on the Wii. Let's get that, because they're hard to find, and they're kind of expensive. And yeah, it's actually a really fun platformer. It's kind of like playing Pandemonium, but better. It's kind of like, what do they call it? 2/3 D or something? 2.5D? That's it, 2.5D. I get there eventually. And you pick up enemies and you like throw them down to launch yourself up in the air. Super fun game. And the character is actually really charming. I really like him. Now I actually have a couple of Klonoa games, and it's all because of that. The Core Gang. This is definitely a diamond in the rough. Outvasion from Inner Earth. What? Who thought of that? Excuse me. that flu, like every time I get really, really sick, like I did when I got that flu a couple weeks ago, I have a cough for like a month afterwards. Need to wet the old whistle. Anyway, core game. I haven't spent too much time playing this one, but it's like a third-person action platformer in 3D. It's actually pretty cool. Need to play this one a little bit more. I want to talk about it in a future video. Yes. Korra Rinpa Marble Mania. I got this one because Metal Jesus talked about it in one of his Hidden Gems videos. And it's kind of like... when I was a little kid, one of my friends had like this maze that you would drop a marble into, and there were like holes in this maze that the marble could drop into, and you would control it with these knobs. Each knob would control like the way the board would move. You could move it back and forth or side to side, and by doing that, you would move the marble through the maze. This is kind of like that, but you hold the Wii Mode in your hand, and you tilt it to move the marble where you want it to go. And I thought that sounded like a really creative way of using the motion controls. So I bought it, and it's actually pretty fun. I liked it a lot. It's pretty neat. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, let's go with this first. Okay, so one of the things I got from my cousin when my mother bought all that stuff for the Wii from him for me for Christmas was this. And it was still in the box. It looked like it had never been touched. It had never been opened. Sticker is still on it. And it is Link's Crossbow Training. This is one of the gun peripherals you could use for like on-rail shooters and light gun games and stuff like that. This is like the generic one. There's also ones that came with like the Resident Evil games, like the Chronicles games that they made. But yeah, it's still unopened, brand spanking new. I have not opened it. But it comes with the game inside, and it comes in like a generic little jewel case instead of an actual, DVD case. But absolutely thrilled that I was able to get one still in the box. That's pretty rad. I did have this back when I first bought my Wii, so I was glad to get it back in the collection. And Link's Crossbow Training is actually pretty fun. It's basically just a demo for using that attachment. But when you use it to play stuff like Dead Space Extraction... And then we've got all the Legends of the Zeldas. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword and Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. These are both foil-covered ones. This one I do believe was supposed to come in like a bigger box, kind of like the way the Kirby game did. And because this one comes with a soundtrack also, as well as the game. And I think this was supposed to come with a golden Wiimote or something like that too. But yeah, haven't played this one. This is like one of the ones that everyone's 50-50 on. I hear people say that they think this one is great, and half the people say that this game is crap. I haven't played it, so I can't say. I would love to play the Zelda games in order. So that's going to have to happen sooner rather than later. I have played Twilight Princess, though. I played the hell out of this when I first got my Wii. Never beat it, though, because just like with every other Legend of Zelda game, once they went 3D, I got to a certain point, got stuck, didn't feel like resetting and starting over from the beginning. So, yeah, that's exactly what happened to this. It's what happened in Ocarina of Time. And I need to go back and replay this. I also have this for the GameCube. I think I might actually just play the GameCube version instead of this. I was talking about these when I was doing the DS video last week. But the final game in the series is on the Wii, and that's Lost in Blue Shipwrecked. These are like the Blue Lagoon, the video games. This one is a little bit more like trying to... The other ones had a little bit more of an adult storyline. This one is the one that's like built for kids because it's on the Wii. Why not? But yeah, there's like little mini games that you have to do and stuff like that to help get off the island or to help survive on the island, like building like a hut and, making a boat and ways you can fish and source food and stuff like that. It's not bad. Not great either. This, on the other hand, is another one of those games that is fantastic, and everyone who has a Wii should have this game in your collection. Lost in Shadow. So I picked this up because Metal Jesus talked about it in a video, and then like 2 days later, I went to one of the local shops, and this was sitting in their case, and it was like $5, and I said, give it to me. Excuse me. In the game, your character ascends this tower. You get to the top, and the bad guy grabs you and throws you off the tower, and you die. But in the process, I think it was the weapon he used, separates your body from your shadow. So your body falls off the building and like lands on the ground, and you're controlling your shadow. And the whole way the game's mechanics work is you don't really have to pay attention to it's a platformer. You don't have to pay attention to the platforms in the foreground, the ones that if you were a body, like a person, you would be using. You have to pay attention to their shadows, because now you are a shadow, and you have to move the way things are in order to get the perspectives right, in order to be able to traverse the terrain and all that, because you basically control where the sun goes and changes the way or where the shadows end up and all that. It is really creative and really fun. I love this game. It is so cool. And it took a while to get used to the perspective shift, because now I'm not paying attention to the foreground. Now I'm paying attention to what's in the background. And it works. It works really, really well. Great graphics, music, controls, everything. It's a fantastic game. I love it. Mad World, this is kind of like playing the Running Man, the video game, except the game is in black and white until somebody gets cut or shot or something, and then there is geysers of red blood going everywhere. It is insanity. Actually pretty cool. It's like a third-person action game, beat 'em up in 3D. I love it. It's pretty cool. It just takes a little while to get used to what you're seeing. What's up, church? Because everything is like in black and white and is like in a cel-shaded graphic style, it's kind of hard to discern where you are and where an enemy is and what's a background and what's like the floor, and it takes a while to get used to what you're looking at. But once you do, it's worth it. Here's another game in that series, Marble Saga Korra Rimpa. It's the same thing where you have the Wiimote in your hand, and when you tilt it, it moves the marble around, kind of like Marble Madness. Really fun series of games. I really highly recommend it. And this one has the multiplayer. Alright, time for the big box, suckers. This is probably my favorite game in this series. So I didn't get into this series until I got my 3DS, played the DS version of it on my 3DS. And it was the first game in the series I'd ever played, and I fell in love with the series after that. After that, I had to have every single game in the franchise. And this one right here is my favorite out of all of them. And I know some people will be like, Chris, you're freaking stupid. I don't care. This one's my favorite, not yours. Mario Kart Wii. I absolutely fell in love with this game. I played this game more than any other Mario Kart game in the series ever. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours playing this because I got the collector's edition or whatever that came with the wheel attachment or the wheel peripheral. Yep. And playing it with that this peripheral right here was super freaking fun. I could not get enough of the game. Playing it like that was great. It controls extremely well. It's better than just holding the Wiimote, on each side like this and doing that. Controlling it with the wheel, it was awesome. And the game is super fun. I would go back and try to get first place in every single track, every CC, everything. And I absolutely love it. I still go back to it on the regular. Absolutely love it. My favorite Mario Kart ever. Okay, I don't know why this was a thing, but it's still going on to this day. I think one just came out for the Switch also, but Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games. It's a thing. These games are not that great. Mario sports games are usually pretty good, but this one, it's not. It's like a bunch of mini games. You have like soccer and, well, like shit. Over 30 exhilarating events. Too bad most of them are not designed very well. But the one that came out on the Wii U was like super expensive for a while because I think it was only available for like 3 months and then it got pulled. Don't ask me why. But once I found that one, I went to a GameStop and they had this there and I picked it up and it was like $20. So I was like, why the hell not? Never seen a Wii game with the yellow DVD case before, so that's kind of cool too. Here's one of those Mario sports games. This one's actually not too bad. Mario Super Sluggers. It's Mario Baseball. Get to hit. I love beaning somebody when you're playing as the pitcher. I love beating Yoshi. Don't ask me why. I just do. First person shooter. Okay, so which game was that? Was it a Call of Duty? No, I think it was one of the Medal of Honor games. It wasn't this one. But Medal of Honor Vanguard first person shooter on the Wii. This wasn't the one that I had. I had a Medal of Honor game. I do not remember which one it was. It was either a Medal of Honor or Call of Duty. And that was where I was like, I'm swearing off first-person shooters on the Wii after that. Because it did not control well, like, at all. But this one's not too bad. This one came out after I sold my Wii originally. Mercury Meltdown Revolution. This one's kind of like the marble game, except you're controlling like a little piece of mercury rolling around tracks like Marble Madness. It's actually pretty fun. Got that for like $2. This is awesome. I got this in a Facebook deal. Some guy was selling it in a group, and I bundled it with a bunch of other games that he was selling. One of them was Donkey Kong Country Returns. But Metal Slug Anthology. Do I wish I got it for something other than the Wii? Yeah, I wish I got this for like the PS2. But can't complain because it's Metal Slug. And this has Metal Slug 1, 2, X, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And 6 is the first time it's available on a home console, according to this. Don't ask me why. You'd think it would be available on the Neo Geo, but I guess not. But I love Metal Slug, side-scrolling run and gun, kind of like Contra, but funny. Absolutely love this series, so I was thrilled to get this. Like I said, I wish I had it on the PS2, and I think Video Games Then and Now had it on the PS2 last time I was there, so maybe time to swap them out. Okay, so I'm currently playing through Metroid Zero Mission. It's the game that was, it was the game that I pulled for my, Backlog Roulette on the Super Enabler Brothers podcast. And, I'm really enjoying it. Everyone tells me this game in the series is not good, but I played a little bit of it when I first got it, because I got this for $3 whopping, brand new from Amazon. And I didn't think it was terrible. It's different, but I didn't think it was bad, but that's Metroid Other M. Why people were complaining about this just because like the perspective is a little bit different. It's not a first-person shooter like the Prime games. Okay, and? What's the problem? It's like a side-scrolling game, more like a side-scrolling game, but I think everyone more has a problem with the fact the way that they portray Samus in here. I did not mind. I did not think it was bad. I enjoyed the little bit of it that I played, but I need to go back through and play it again all the way. Now that I'm playing Zero Mission, I'm kind of getting into a Metroid frame of mind. But I also have Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, the last game currently in the Prime series, but this is like the first-person shooter Metroid games. This was the last game that I bought for my Wii before I sold it back in, 2009. And I liked what I played of it, but it wasn't enough to make me want to keep the console. So I got rid of it. But I liked what I played. It's a pretty cool Metroid game. And then there's the Metroid Prime Trilogy. This has Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 on the same disc, just with the Wii motion controls. This was a super expensive game for a little while, especially if you wanted the Steelbook version. I found this at GameStop, and it was like right after my dad died, and my mom was in this weird frame of mind. I was visiting her, we went out to dinner, and I was like, hey, now that if we're here, there's a GameStop right around the corner. I'd like to go see what they have, because this was like right when I got back into collecting. And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of a pricey game. This one and another game that I'm going to show off later on. I was like, I'll probably never be able to afford those, at least not for a little while. My mom was like, give them to me, I'll buy them for you. I was like, what? So she bought them to me just because I whined about it. That's mom's for you. But yeah, this is all of the first-person shooter Metroid games on one disc. The only reason I have this, and I got this from my cousin, this is one of the only other games I kept from my cousin's lot that we bought for Christmas that one year. I have no interest in playing this. I'm probably never going to play it. I wanted to keep it just because. Michael Jackson The Experience. This is like Just Dance, but it's all Michael Jackson songs. And the thing is, if you bought this, I think at Walmart, if you bought this at Walmart, it has an exclusive track, which was Another Part of Me. That's the song that they replaced with Thriller in Michael Jackson's Moonwalker on the Genesis. They replaced the Thriller song with Another Part of Me on the Graveyard level. Made no sense. Anyway, but if you bought this at Walmart, you got the bedazzled glove that Michael Jackson always used to wear. And it didn't come with it. My cousin couldn't find it when we were buying all these games from them. So I ended up going online and I found it for like $3 or $4, still in the package, and I have it in my closet. It's like in a tote. I'm never going to open it. It's never going to get used. I'm never going to play this game. I just wanted it because Michael Jackson, and it amuses me. Had to get this because I'm a whore for this franchise. Hello. Look, they match. Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Yeah, this is a really bad looking version of this game. It looks better on the Xbox. And playing this with a Wiimote, I just can't. To do special moves, you gotta like wag the Wiimote in different directions and do half circles. And no. But I wanted it because Mortal Kombat. It's not that good. Pick this one up. I watched the Game Grumps play this for the longest time. I think they streamed this for a good month, and I was enjoying watching them do it too because it looked like a lot of fun. And then because they were streaming it, the game jumped up in price. Couldn't find it anywhere for under $20. Was not willing to pay for it. Eventually, I want to say a couple months ago, or maybe over the summer, it like hit me. I was just like, oh yeah, I always wanted that game. Maybe I should look it up now. Now it's dirt cheap. So I picked up a copy of The Munchables. It looks like shovelware, but it's actually by Bandai Namco. It's kind of like playing Katamari Damacy. You play as like this, I don't know what the hell you call him. She's basically just a mouth. And you go around eating everything, and the more you eat, the bigger you get. The bigger you get, the bigger things you can eat, and you keep on growing and eating and eating and growing. It's actually pretty fun. And I had a lot of fun watching Dan and Aaron playing through this. So I really, really wanted it, and it's actually really cool. I was surprised that it lived up to the hype that they were giving it. I do believe this is Vanillaware. Yep, Vanillaware. Muramasa the Demon Blade. I think this is a beat 'em up, or I don't remember if this was an RPG. Yeah, side-scrolling beat 'em up. Yeah, it's a beat 'em up. I love the artwork that Vanillaware uses, like their hand-drawn artwork. So I jumped on this when I found this at GameStop, and yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous and it plays really well. I hadn't played this a whole lot, but I need to, like, I really just need to break my Wii U back out, get it out of the box up on my shelf, and start playing these games again. This one I'm not a big fan of. This is the other game, one of the other games I got when I got the Mario, or the Metroid Prime trilogy, the expensive one that my mom bought, and the other game that's coming up. There was a buy two, get one free. This was the free game that I got. New Super Mario Brothers Wii. I am not a fan of these new Super Mario Brothers games at all. Don't ask me why. I just find them really slow and boring. Like the original Mario Brothers, I think moves faster. I just can't get into it. Yeah, it's cool that you can play like 4 players at the same time. That's fantastic, but I just don't like the game that you can do it with. So that's just me. I can't get into this series at all. And I've tried on 3DS and the Wii and the Wii U, and it just does not. It hasn't happened. Knight's Journey of Dreams. This is the sequel to Knights that came out on the Sega Saturn. And the sequel's on the Wii because motion controls. And it's cool that we got a sequel to this game at all. I absolutely love the one on the Saturn. I think it's a fantastic game. And I think we could have gotten a better one on the Wii. It just feels like the motion controls were just tacked on. It does not control very well. It looks cool. The graphical upgrade on the Wii is great. It's just the controls needed a little bit more work, a little more tweaking. It's not the greatest thing. It's not bad either. This one's kind of funny. Okay, so I don't remember where I read it, but what is this? Conspiracy Entertainment basically released the exact same game on the Wii twice. Just released it under different names with a slight graphical tweak to the main character. I don't remember what the other version is of the game, what the name of it is. I have one of them, though, and that is the Ninja Bread Man. It's like a third-person 3D beat-em-up platformer where you play as like this little gingerbread man that thinks he's a ninja. And it's like diverting for a little while. It's kind of entertaining, but there is another version of this game out there by the same company where they just changed what the main character is, but otherwise it's the exact same game. They put the same game out on the sales, or out for sale twice. That's kind of shitty. So, whatever. But the game's not that bad. Maybe if I find the other version of it, I'll buy that just for shits and giggles. Gaming Off the Grid, what's up? I've never used the GameCube controller on my Wii. Usually because the Wii was always way too far away from my couch, and the cable on the GameCube controllers was never long enough. But actually, now that I have 2 Wavebirds, that might not be a problem. And welcome to the stream, by the way. And Stubby, if he's a classic controller on Nights, a million times better. Oh, okay. Classic controller. I don't have a classic controller. I might have to look one up. Or look for one. Maybe I'll look for one at the Midwest Gaming Classic. You never know. No More Heroes 1 and 2. The Desperate Struggle. There's a third game in this series coming out. There's like a mini game version that came out for the Switch, which I absolutely refuse to buy. 3D beat 'em ups. They feel like Suda 51 games or whatever. Your character, Travis Touchdown, which has the greatest freaking name ever. Your character uses what kind of looks, it's supposed to be like a lightsaber, but what it amounts to is basically a fluorescent light bulb on a stick. But it makes people bleed coins, so it works. But yeah, it's a 3D beat 'em up and really, really fun. I love these games. I cannot wait for that third one. Ah, shit, no! Don't go! Don't go to the light! Okay. I need to get this on the PlayStation 2 and get rid of this version because it kind of sucks controlling this on the Wii. Obscure the Aftermath. It's a sequel to a game that came out on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox. I have the original on the Xbox. There's also a version of this, like I said, on the PlayStation 2, which is probably the version I'm going to trade this in for. But it's a Resident Evil sort of clone. It's kind of like playing a mix between Silent Hill and Resident Evil. Storyline is bizarre as shit. A bunch of college students find these plants that are growing on the campus, and for some reason they decide to dry them and inhale the ash. And it makes everyone high as shit. And everyone starts seeing like hallucinations and stuff of monsters. You don't know if the monsters are real or are hallucinations. You could just be beating up on a teacher for all you know, and you're seeing it as a creature, whatever. But it's actually a pretty effective, really cheesy horror game. I really enjoy it. I played it a little while, got pretty close to beating it, and I talked about it in the horror game video that I did for Halloween like 3 or 4 years ago. But to beat it, I'm probably going to get it on the PlayStation 2 because controlling this on the Wii kind of stinks. It's the only problem I have with it. But it's fun. I need to play the first one also and see what the deal with that one is. This is the one I just dropped. But I think I have like 4 different versions of this game on different consoles. Akami, fantastic action game. You play as, like, everything's, what do they call it? Cell shaded in this also. You play as this dog called Amaterasu. I can never remember his name. And you use the Wiimote to like make paint strokes. Like you have a paintbrush in your hand, and you control them by doing these like paint strokes on the screen. And it works okay. I prefer this game. I ended up buying it on the PS2 and playing it that way, and I thought it worked pretty well. But I also have this on the Xbox One. I have it on the PS2. I have it for the Wii, and there's also a version on, I think, the DS. But it's a fun game. It's fantastic. It's creative use of the Wii motion controls. So there's that. No worries, Stubby. Do not worry about it. Like I said, the stream will be available to watch at your leisure when it's done. Pick this up at a gas station. Like I was talking about, you can get Wii games everywhere. I picked this one up at a gas station. Overlord Dark Legend. It's like a strategy sort of game, or I think, the strategy game. It's kind of like playing Goblin Commander. I got it for like $5. I wasn't being too discerning. I got it at a gas station, for crying out loud. This one I got at GameStop, but I have not played it yet because RPG. But Pandora's Tower, graphics look absolutely fantastic. This is the year. 2020 is the year of the RPG for me, so I need to start playing through some of these. Like I said, RPGs, I buy a lot of them, never have time to play them. Prince of Persia Rival Swords. Still haven't played this one. I don't know where this fits into the mythology in the series, because there was like the 3 that came out like on the Xbox and the PlayStation 2. This one wasn't one of them. I think this is a Wii exclusive. But I don't know where this fits into the storyline. Well, I'll find out eventually. But it's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up type of thing. Whatever. It looks fantastic. Like I said, I was at Pandora's Tower. I was at the GameStop, and I was just looking through their Wii games because, why not? You might find something interesting. And I started looking at the back of this, and I was like, this looks amazing. But then again, RPG. Never have time to play RPGs. But I keep buying them because I have a problem. This one's fantastic. This is one of the first games I got for my Wii when I got back into collecting. Found this at Half Price Books for $3. And then now this game is really expensive. Punch-Out! Like the remake. I don't know if this is supposed to be more like the arcade or not. But I think it's supposed to be a remake of the original because I recognize all the characters that you end up fighting in this from the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. But whatever. It's a fantastic version of a fantastic series. I love this game. I play the shit out of it. This is the version of Little Mac that is in all the Amiibos and in Smash Brothers and all that. So, highly recommended. I need to spend more time playing it, though. Just like this. Ready to Rumble Revolution. This is, I think, Ready to Rumble Boxing 3. Did not know there was a third one in the series. I have both of the original games for the Dreamcast. But went to GameStop one day, and this was sitting there. So, I was like, what? When did that happen? So, absolutely had to pick it up. It's okay. It's not as good as the other two. Okay, so when I was talking about when I first bought my Wii and like the first person shooters that I bought when the Wii first came out completely turned me off on first person shooters on the console completely, it was this game that did it. Red Steel. So this was one of the first games I bought. The day that I bought my Wii at that Best Buy, I bought this game and something else, and I do not remember what it was. I was super hyped for this because it was a first-person shooter, and you carry a gun in one hand and a sword in the other. And that sounded like so much fun for me. I was like, I'm basically dual-wielding in a first-person shooter. The motion controls are like working like my hands. I can slash somebody and shoot them in the face as they're falling. I can do all kinds of cool, like, John Woo shit. And then I actually played the game, and I was like, this controls like absolute ass. Like, it did not work. And I want to say I sat there and I played this for like 2 hours, and like it started off with me going like, yeah, this is the best thing ever. And by the end of those 2 hours, I was like, I want to shoot myself in the fucking foot for buying this game. It was terrible. I don't think there were patches at this point in time, so I don't think it ever got fixed unless there was like another version they released. But this game is absolute garbage. Controls like poop. And then they decided to release a sequel, and I found this at the exchange near me, complete in the box. And there's Red Steel 2. And this one goes for more of like a Western approach instead of like a Yakuza approach like the first one did. And what comes with this version is it comes with a Wii Motion Plus controller inside and one of the body condoms for it. Or sorry, not the... No, sorry. No, it doesn't come with the Wii Motion. It comes with the Wii Motion Plus attachment and a condom for it on top of having the game. Eventually, they released Wii Motion Plus enabled Wiimotes that were the same size as the standard ones. You didn't have to attach this thing to the bottom that made it bigger. But still haven't played it. It's completely sealed. But everyone tells me that this is the one that got it right. And I'm still kind of like, dislike this one so much, I haven't even bothered to open this one up to try it. But I really should because, you know, I've paid money for these things. Captain Algebra! Kenna forever in our hearts. There's a slight fixer, Red Steel. Turn off the rumble and speaker on the Wiimote, and the controls are way more stable. Game's not great, though. Yeah, I absolutely could not stand it. Like I said, it was one of the games that turned me off on first-person shooters on the Wii completely. And then we have Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. A lot of people actually prefer this version to the GameCube one. Or at least, you know, when it came out. I still prefer the PlayStation 2 version. But it's not bad. Motion controls take a long time to get used to for me, so it's okay. But I'm such a big fan of Resident Evil 4, I wanted to have a copy of this. The best version of... Oh, PS4 is the best version. That's the only one I don't have for the PlayStation 4. I have all the other ones, Resident Evil games for the PS4, except Part 4. That's the only one I can't find anywhere. They look great on the Wii and look like crap on the Wii U. Weird. Oh, excuse me, I just belched. But we're going to keep going with the Resident Evil. The best Resident Evil 4... Oh, you're saying the Wii version is the best one. Well, I haven't played it a whole lot, so I can't comment. So, maybe I'll give it a shot. I bought it for crying out loud. I might as well, right? Resident Evil. I think I bought one of these when I was hanging out with Captain Algebra. Myself. Yeah, this is the one that I was trying to find for the longest time. Got into a... Excuse me. Got into a fight with a guy at a GameStop over it. But we got the Resident Evil, the Umbrella Chronicles. This is a first-person, or an on-rails light gun game in Resident Evil land. And then the sequel is the Dark Side Chronicles. So I've had Umbrella Chronicles forever. There's actually a version you can get that comes in a big box and like a gun attachment, kind of like the Link's Crossbow Training gun. I was looking for that for the longest time, but I was like, you know what? I don't have room for that kind of crap, so I'll just, I'm not going to worry about it. But trying to find the Dark Side Chronicles, I went to a GameStop once, and I bought a copy of WarioWare. Oh, I can't remember the name of the subtitle. It was the first WarioWare game on the Wii. And I got it home, and it was the wrong game inside. It was like Mario Brothers or something, New Super Mario Brothers. So I brought it back, and they're like, oh, we don't even have the WarioWare game in stock. You want to switch it for something else? And I was like, yeah, sure. Switched out another game. They gave me another game. It had another wrong game in it. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with these people? So I go back, grab Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles to do the exchange. And as I'm walking out of the building, I'm like, let's check this out to make sure I got the right one. And inside was Umbrella Chronicles. I'm like, this is the third effing time you guys have done this. Yeah, Smooth Moves, that's it. This is the third effing time. I walked back in, I threw this on the counter. I'm like, this is the third time I've had to exchange a game for you guys putting the wrong game in the DVD case. I'm like, do they hire people that can't read? Are you all blind? I'm like, what's wrong with you? And the guy just kind of went like, you want to switch it for something else? I'm like, if the game that I grab right now either is not in stock and you have the case on the shelf, or you put the wrong game in there, I'm like, I'm calling corporate. And I'm really going to complain about all of you guys. Turns out I picked up XCOM. It was the second XCOM game for the PS3. And I watched the guy put the disc in there. I was like, okay, thank you very much. Fuck you. And I walked out. But another on-rails light gun game. I picked this up because I've always wanted to try this series, but I still haven't played it because it's an RPG. Rune Factory, Tides of Destiny. I can't even show you what gameplay looks like because there is absolutely none on the back. Why do they think that was a good idea? Okay. Picked this up on a lark. I found this at Half Price Books for like $6, and I said, why not Rygar, The Battle of Argus? I thought this was always a port of the Rygar game that came out on the PS2. Turns out it's not. It's like a sequel to that. And a Psycho sequel. This one's trying to be more like God of War than the original Rygar remake was. But it's actually really cool. I like this one a lot. Same kind of mechanics as God of War, except of having these the blades on the chains. You have your little shield sword thing that you swing around. It's cool. I like it a lot. Yeah, I don't understand that. Why, of all the games, like an RPG, you want people to be like, oh, look, I feel like investing all this time in this game. It looks fantastic. Oh, no, instead you just get, like, descriptions about it in 2 different languages on the back. Dumbasses. Picked this one up from Shantendo64. He was selling a bunch of stuff in his collection, and this looked interesting. When I got it, turns out that this is a game based on the Legend of the Monkey King from China. You know, the Journey to the West. There's been, I don't know how many games based on that story over the years. And here's another one. It's called Saint. And I'd never heard of it before, and I looked up some footage, and it's fantastic. Basically, it's like a shmup. You play as the Monkey King, and he's like flying around on a cloud like Goku from Dragon Ball. And yeah, you're taking out bad guys. And it's actually pretty fun. I have this game, the original version of this game on the Dreamcast. Bought the special controllers that cost hundreds of dollars. Only just to sell them a couple months later because they took up too much space. And then I was really excited. I was like, oh, if there's one thing those motion controls on the Wii are going to work with, it's this. And it doesn't work very well. Samba de Amigo. This is I don't know if this is considered a remake or a sequel to the Dreamcast version, but it's a rhythm game. There are Maraca controllers that you could buy for the Dreamcast, which I spent money on because rhythm games, and I love them, that you could use on the Dreamcast, and they were fantastic. You do the same thing you did with those Maraca controllers because you have like this star pattern. There's 6 paths. And what you're supposed to do with the Maraca controllers was icons would start off in the center of that star and then move out to the arms, the different paths outward. And when they would reach the outer part, you had to shake the maracas in the right position. So if they were going side to side, you had to shake them out here. If one was up here, one was down here, you had to go like that, and shake the maraca at the exact same time. You can do it with the Wiimote and the nunchuck in here also. It just doesn't work nearly as well as those maraca controllers did, surprisingly. So, yeah, the game's kind of a bust. Disappointing, but whatever. It's fun to have because I like that series. Or at least I had fun with the Dreamcast one. Shiren the Wanderer. I think this is another RPG. I think. Which is why I haven't played it. So I can't tell. Yeah, it's an RPG. Haven't played it yet. But it looked kind of cool. This is one of the games I got when I first got back into collecting, and I was buying everything I found, especially if it had Atlas on it, because Atlas meant it would be worth money at some point. This game is absolutely fantastic. It's based on a game it's a sequel to a game we never got over here. It came out for the Nintendo 64 in Japan only, and we never got it, which kind of sucked because this sequel is awesome. Sin and Punishment, Star Successor. Yeah, Sin and Punishment, the original one came out on the Wii, Nintendo 64 in Japan. We never got it over here. This one is like playing Star Fox. It's like sort of an on-rails shooter, and you lock onto things. Like in Star Fox, you would lock onto your targets, and when you let go of the attack button, you unleash hell. It's like that, but you're on foot, and you have like a gun that does this sort of thing. And it is really great. The graphics are phenomenal on this console. I always used to complain about the graphics on the Wii looking like crap compared to the PS3 and the 360. This was one of the ones that you could actually hold a case for the Wii to say, well, you know what? Some of them actually look pretty awesome. This game is amazing. Skycrawlers, Innocent Aces, or Project... It says powered by Project Aces. I don't know what the hell that is. The true Contra successor. It is great, dude. And I got this dirt cheap. This was one of the first games I got when I got back into collecting. Got it off of Amazon. It was brand new for like $4. And I don't know if it's expensive now or not, but it sure as hell wasn't back in 2013. This one is a flight combat simulator or whatever, World War II. The thing is, this one has reversible cover art. So this is the one that was on it when I bought it. And I was like, oh, look, it's an air flight simulator, combat stuff. I love that kind of stuff. And it's actually pretty fun. It has a real anime feel to it, too, which is kind of interesting. But then I saw that it had this reversible cover, and I was like, I know what the game is. I've played it. I don't care. It doesn't have to sell me on it anymore. I know what the game is. This is more of an interesting cover art to me, so I switched it around to that. But I highly recommend this one. This is one no one talks about. So if you like flight simulator type games or air combat simulators like Wing Commander and stuff like that, and World War II type things, this one is really fun. Sonic and the Secret Rings. Still haven't played this one. I know that there's one, I think it's Sonic Colors, everyone says is actually really good. I don't remember hearing much about this, but it's like Sonic in Aladdin Land. It's like there's genies and magic lamps and stuff. And like, oh, okay. They would just throw Sonic in any old game back then. And they wonder why like the franchise was starting to die off when like Fire and Ice came out or whatever. Or Sonic Boom came out. This one I absolutely had to buy because I love this franchise. Soul Calibur Legends. This is a Soul Calibur beat 'em up in 3D, coming at ya. And yeah, not a one-on-one fighting game. It's a beat 'em up, and it's pretty freaking awesome. The graphics. Here's another one that's like this console could actually do great graphics if they really put their minds to it. Put some effort in there. I bought this because of Metal Jesus and because licensed games. Speed Racer, the video game. This one's like playing the Hot Wheels game that came out on the PlayStation 1, which I loved. Also kind of like playing Excite Truck a little bit. It's a racing game, but you have like fight mechanics while you're racing. If you ever saw the Speed Racer movie, the Mach 1, I think? Is that what it's called? Not important. You do Carfu. The cars can spin and bash each other, and you can jump over them and land on them and crush them, and kind of crazy shenanigans. It's really, really fun to see go down and to do it. And when you pull off some crazy combo with like a jump over a ramp and you land on top of a guy and then flip over and hit another guy and knock him off the track, it's really, really satisfying. I know a lot of people hate this movie. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. Not a lot of people give it the credit it deserves. I think it is actually really well made. Just based on a cartoon that no one gives a shit about in America. But the game is fantastic. I highly recommend it. And I'm about to die over here. Woo! Spore Hero. I don't know why I still have this. I thought it was supposed to be like Spore, the computer game, but it's like a dumbed down console version. Yeah, you make a creature, you put all parts together, and then you fight. Big whoop. Probably gonna get rid of it. SSX Blur, this I bought when I was getting all the games I could find that were cheap. I really like SSX on the, or SSX Tricky on the Xbox, and I was kind of like, oh, cool, another one in the series, and this one's not that great because motion controls kind of ruin everything. So, there's that. Here's the other one. Okay, so I was talking about that Dragon Quest Swords game, which I thought worked really well for like a first-person sword fighting game. And then there's this. And I talked about this in my Bad Star Wars Games video that I released. More Bad Star Wars games. This is Star Wars, Clone Wars, lightsaber duels. This is the exact same thing. Not in the first person. This one's in the third person. But the controls just don't work. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Lightsabers and a Wiimote. It should... I mean, if they can pull it off with the Dragon Quest game, why can't they do it here? I don't know, but it sucks. It is horrible. Ugh. Disappointing as hell. Goes to show that, like, any game based on the Clone Wars cartoon, which I love, is garbage. Although there's Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I picked this up, like, the day that I went to go and see Rise of Skywalker at not Half Price Books, GameStop. There was a GameStop that was closing near my friend's house, and while we were waiting for his wife to get off work before he went and saw the movie, he's like, let's hit up the GameStop that's closing down, see if they have any deals. Found a lot of stuff there. Found this there, and I was like, okay, why not? And it's basically the exact same game that came out on the 360 and the PS3, just with motion control stuff added. So, I haven't played it yet. I should probably try it out, see how that fares. Haven't opened this yet. Got this for a whopping $1 off of Amazon. Tournament of Legends. It looks fantastic. It's like a beat-em-up Roman style, but the effects and everything are fantastic. I mean, just look at that stuff. I need to try this out, but it's still sealed. Haven't even opened it yet. This is one of the only games I kept from my cousin, Trackmania Built to Race. I was going to get rid of it because I was like, yeah, a racing game. My cousin is huge into cars. He had like every racing game you can imagine on the Wii at that point in time when I got all those games from him. And I was getting ready to get rid of this, and then Metal Jesus talked about it in one of his Hidden Gems videos, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try. And it's actually pretty fun. It's like, the races last for 30 seconds. It's like real fast, and you have to learn the track real quick and try to get through it as fast as possible. There's loops and tricks and stuff like that you can do also to get better points, but it's just really, really fast racing. It's not like NASCAR. It's pretty cool. It's a different take on a racing game, and that franchise is still going. I think there's a game of it on the PlayStation 4 in that series, or on the Switch or something. Okay, all of these? Yeah. Okay, so only on the Wii would this work. I thought these were a bad idea when they first came out. I was like, who wants to play shit like that? And then I tried one, and I was like, this is pretty fun. And it turns out now there's 3 games in this damn series. Oh, did I skip something? No, I have not. Why am I in the T's? I think I screwed up the alphabetizing. Shit! Anyway, not a problem. Whatever. Trauma Center, New Blood. Trauma Center, Second Opinion. And Trauma Team. These are surgery games on the Wii. I thought that was the worst freaking idea ever. And then I actually played one, like I said, and it turned out to be really, really fun. It's like a soap opera. It's like playing like Grey's Anatomy, the video game in Japan. You got like relationship stuff going on. You got to make sure that you stay on good terms with your nurses. What's up, Joanna? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. And then every once in a while, someone comes in and you have to take out a pancreas. And I did not think that sounded fun until I tried them. The one that I had was this. I had Second Opinion. And it's pretty awesome. And then there's versions of this available like on the DS also. Surgery games. Who knew? And they're so popular that there are multiple sequels. Goddamn. Sorry. Ugh. Had to get this because it's based on one of my favorite film franchises of all time. Tron Evolution Battle Grids. So Tron Evolution was the name of the games that came out to coincide with Tron Legacy hitting theaters in 2010. There was a version of it available on the DS, which is a Legend of Zelda style adventure game. Then there's the ones that came out on the PSP, the 360, and the PlayStation 3. Those are third-person action games with some racing and light cycles. And then there's this POS, which is a bunch of mini games. Disappointing in the extreme. You have light cycle racing. You have this like Discs of Tron type thing that sucks. And then there's like a tank thing that you can do. And I don't even remember how to play that part. But I just remember I was super excited to be able to play this. I was like, oh, look, another Tron game. And it's not another port of those ones that came out on the other consoles. It's its own thing. And poop. It is garbage. I absolutely hate this game. But I keep it because Tron. Yeah, I'm showing off every game that I have in my collection for my Wii. We're getting toward the end, though. And I'm super disappointed. The DS game is not great. It is head and shoulders over this crap. I put that in my, I think it was my WTF games that I did with John Riggs and Wood from Beat 'em Ups. This one I picked up because it was super cheap, and then I think Metal Jesus talked about it later on, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I bought it before he talked about it, and I have to pay $30 for it. I think I got this for like $5. Ultimate Shooting Collection. It's a collection of shmups, and the ones on, and the names on these are so stupid, so freaking stupid. Well, you have Chaos Field, which came out on the GameCube. I have that on the GameCube. It's a great shmup, Bullet Hell. But there's one called Karaos, which is a vertically scrolling one. I cannot even read what that one is called. Oh, that's Chaos Field. It's just a weird font. Okay. But there's one called Radio Allergy. What the hell? That one is not very bullet hell-y, but the other ones are. But I love a good shmup. I love a good vertically scrolling shmup, and I love a good bullet hell shmup. So why not? Any good kids games? Yeah, I got a few. Mostly Mario stuff. Yeah, I talk about a few in here. I got rid of a lot of the shovelware type stuff earlier on, so I don't really have a lot of that stuff to talk about. Here's the other one in the big box that I got to talk about. So I went garage sailing when I first got back into collecting because I was watching Video Game Sellers, and that guy just finds all this crazy stuff in Florida when he goes to garage sailing, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll find some cool stuff in Chicago, and I did, and I found Jack. And on the way back from like driving 30 miles away from me to a garage sale, which had nothing, it was like a bunch of baby toys, I was like, okay, I'm going to stop at that disc replay by my work, and they had just put out a bunch of new stuff on the shelves, one of which was the 25th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers, the Super Mario All-Stars collection. This is Super Mario Brothers All-Stars that came out on the Super Nintendo, just on disc. The graphics are, I think, exactly the same. But what this comes with that's special is... Hang on a second. Well, it comes with the game. The game itself comes with a what do they call it? A remastered version of the original Mario Brothers. God damn. Mario Brothers 2, Mario Brothers 3, and Mario Brothers The Lost Levels, which is the original Japanese version of Mario Brothers 2 that we did not get over here, that came out on the Famicom Disk System. But this collector's edition thing came with this extra disc that has the soundtrack, Super Mario Brothers History soundtrack, and this booklet, 1985 to 2010. It's like a visual history of Mario Brothers. So, pretty cool. And it was going for a lot of money, I think, when I first got back into collecting. And I found this there for like $40, so I picked it up because I was like, oh, I got a deal! Yay! And now it's actually pretty cheap. So, I don't care. But not a big fan of Mario All-Stars. I will probably never buy the Super Nintendo version of it because I just rather play the original versions. I remember I was super excited to play like this new graphically upgraded version of Mario Brothers 2, and I was like, no. I'd rather just play the original one on the Nintendo. What we got here now is Super Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2. I had Mario Galaxy when I bought my Wii back in the day before I sold it in 2009. And this is one of the few games that I really, really enjoyed. I had kind of fallen out with Mario. I did not like Mario Brothers Sunshine at all. And I was like, oh god, here we go again. And just put Mario in some weird setting and let him go. And I really, really like this one. It didn't feel anything like any other Mario game I've played, but it was actually a lot of fun. So I was super thrilled that I liked Mario Brothers games again. And I never played part 2 because I had sold my Wii by the time this came out. And this one's actually a lot better from what I'm told. I haven't played it a whole lot, but I like what I did play. And I got this at a Savers, which is a Value Village, I guess, in my neck of the woods. It's what a Value Village is everywhere else. And they were selling this for like $25, and I was like, oh, I'm not passing that up because I had seen this at a half-price books for like $50. And I was like, Only thing is I found out why they were selling it for like $25, and it's because the whole thing is like water damage. The manual's kind of crackly when you open it up. And it also came with like this move list, which I'm surprised was actually in here. It's like a poster. Yeah, some of the pages are stuck together. Look, they're peeling now! Oh, God. Water damage, why? Shit. But yeah, all these move lists and all that. And it even came with the code for the Club Nintendo, which actually still worked. No one had used the code when I bought this. I actually got a poster because of this. All the Wii games that I got from my cousin for Christmas that year, I got from my cousin when we bought his collection off of him. None of the codes had been used for any of those games. I got so much free shit because of my cousin not knowing how that thing worked. That was pretty awesome. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. I had never played a Monkey Ball game before this one. This is the first one I ever owned. And it's pretty fun. It's like a racing game, but you're a monkey like in a hamster ball, and you got to race through these levels without falling off the track. This one focuses more on multiplayer, though, which is kind of cool. I now have the other 2 games for the GameCube, and they're pretty awesome. Mario All-Stars, yeah, I don't know, I just rather would play the original versions of the games. I'm not saying they're bad, I would rather do that. Look at the sparkles on the letters of Galaxy when it says, you are my... What? No, I am not doing that, sir. Whatever. Super Paper Mario. I have only played this one in the series. I've never played any of the other ones. But I own a couple of them. This one's pretty cool. Mario is like seriously, he's like a piece of paper. Like he's as thin as a piece of paper, kind of like Parappa the Rapper. And you have to use that mechanic in order to get around because you have to keep shifting the perspective of the levels that you're playing on in order to beat them. It's kind of a cool idea. It's kind of like you're in 2D and 3D at the same time. It's really strange. I really like this one. I need to spend more time playing it. How do you play multiplayer? No, I think it's like local multiplayer because that came out when the original version of the Wii was out that had the GameCube plugs on the top. You could plug 4 of them in there, which is kind of cool. Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Everyone I know considers this one to be the best game in the series. I don't. I really like the GameCube one a lot. This one, for some reason, just bugged me. I don't know why. I mean, I still like it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. Not my favorite one in the series, though. I'll always pick the GameCube one over the others. Don't ask me why. I just do. I don't know why I kept this one. I probably should have sold it. Tack Guardians of the Gross. I got this from my cousin. And he was like 7 years old when we bought all this stuff off of him. Excuse me. So I don't even play it. It's like a third-person action game with some puzzle stuff. Yippee yahoo! I think I'm gonna set this one aside because it's gonna get sold. See you later. Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World. This is the first Tales of game I ever bought. And I still haven't played any of them because there's so many of them and I want to play them in order and some of them are so pricey I will probably never be able to do so, but we'll see. But yeah, RPG, therefore, have not played it because don't have time for RPGs. Okay, so when I was talking about Ghost Squad on the Wii and how when I posted the picture of the games that I had bought in that my weekly update for my pickups, Radical Reggie saw Ghost Squad and he was like, oh, if you like this, you need this one also. And he sent me a picture of him holding this. And it took me forever to find a copy of it that actually had the manual. I don't know why. I didn't even look for it online. I was just like, I'll find it in stores. Eventually, I found it in the store. It's called Target Terror. It's an on-rails shooter, light gun game, sort of like Time Crisis. And he swears by this one. He says this one is amazing. So I picked it up, and it's actually not too bad. It's actually pretty fun. Just play Tales of Berseria and call it good. I don't know. I kind of want to start at the beginning. I don't think I'll be able to get the original game. Well, I can get a repro of it for the Super Nintendo, or I can just get the GameCube or the Game Boy Advance game. We'll see how that works out. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Did not think this would work at all on a home console. I balked at it when it first came out. I was like, that's a horrible idea. And it turned out to be awesome. Tatsunoko versus Capcom Ultimate All-Stars. So Tatsunoko is an anime production company. They produced a whole crap load of stuff over the years, starting probably back in the 70s or 60s. But the one that gets me the most is Battle of the Planets, right on the front here, right, staring down Ryu. I don't know a lot of the other anime that this game is referencing, but a lot of it has mechs and stuff like that, which I do not know what they are. But Capcom versus SNK, Capcom versus Marvel versus Capcom, some of my favorite fighting games out there. So I was curious, if anything, and I picked this up, and I was like, how are you going to play this? How are you going to play a fighting game with a Wiimote? Because I never had one of the classic controllers. And it turns out you can pretty easily. That's the only issue is the lack of buttons on the Wiimote. But that being considered, it's actually a great fighting game. I absolutely love it. It's just like playing a Marvel vs. Capcom game with this anime company substituted. I love it. It's fantastic. Thank you for the sub, Joanna. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Tenchu Shadow Assassins. This is, I want to say, part 4 in the series or something like that. Ninja stealth game. Started off on the PlayStation 1. I absolutely loved the original. So had to have this. This one is more of a third-person stealth game instead of like... Well, so was the original, if I think you think about it. It's just different graphical style. This one's closer up. But it's actually pretty fun. I found that at GameStop for like $1. Valhalla Knights, Eldar Saga, another RPG I have not played. So, there's that. Okay, so Captain Algebra, you brought up the... Which one was it? Smooth Moves. Smooth Moves was the WarioWare game that I bought that started off that whole thing with me fighting with GameStop. Oh, Jesus. Where was it? Smooth Moves. But I ended up finding it anyway. I ended up getting it a lot later on at another GameStop of all places. WarioWare are like tiny little mini games that last for like 5 seconds and move on to the next one. Like one of them might be pick a nose or stop a booger from falling out of somebody's nose. Play jump rope or something like that for 3 seconds. It's random stuff, but there's like hundreds of them in this game, and a lot of them are really cool when you're playing with a party. So I had to have it. Party game. I kept this one because my cousin gave me when my mom bought the Wii off of my cousin. It came with that Wii Fit board thing, and it's still in my closet. I've never even powered that thing on. So naturally, I kept Wii Fit just in case I do want to use it. I'm probably never going to play it. One of the other games that I had when I got that from my cousin was the Jillian Michaels thing that used the Wii Fit board also, and I was like, no, that thing is going. But picked up a copy of Wii Play. This is more like mini games that take advantage of the motion controls. This has, let me see here. I can't remember what they are. Billiards, fishing, shooting range, and a ton of other stuff. Looks like I'm riding on a rhino. The racing. Okay, whatever. More like Wii Sports, but more casually type stuff. Speaking of Wii Sports, I don't know why it took me so long to find a copy of Wii Sports in the DVD case and not that little papery slip case that came with the consoles. I hate those things. I want it on my shelf in one of these cases. And of all the places to find this, the Midwest Gaming Classic. I think this was like 2 years ago. The first time that Jason for Corpse Flood came. And we were looking at one table, and there was nothing there that interested me. Everything was like disc-based, and I was just kind of like, no, I'd rather just get retro stuff. And I happened to just like look down, and I was like, oh, they got a copy of Wii Sports like in the DVD case. I need that. And the guy saw me eyeballing it, and he was like asking like $10 for it or something. I was like, I am not paying $10 for that. And the guy goes, I'll give it to you for $7. I was like, sold American. So yeah, Wii Sports. This is what made me want to keep my Wii for those 2 years between 2007 and 2009. Basically, just because of the bowling aspect. The bowling game in here is fantastic, and it still holds up. Wii plays tank games like Kombat on Atari. Everyone loves Wii Sports, even my dad. Yeah, my parents don't ban me. I will not ban you, FG. Yeah, my dad, when I got my Wii originally, I was still living at home, and my parents liked playing my Wii so much that my dad bought one for him and my mother, and they did not play video games at all. And I was like, well, it's come to this. My parents are playing the same stuff I am. I was like, hell on earth. Wii Sports Resort. This is like the sequel to Wii Sports. More of the same. It has bowling on it again. Just more extreme. But there's like biking and what is that? Sword fencing or something like that. There's 12 different games on here. I do not remember what they are. But it's just as fun. My employer back then, up until 2011, they actually put a Wii in the workout room, hoping that people would use it to exercise. The best version of Mortal Kombat 2 console. I still play Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo. I still think that's the best home port. But yeah, my arcade 1-up is like arcade perfect, so I'd probably play that over anything else. Wii. World War II Aces. It's another aerial combat simulator. It's actually pretty fun. I prefer sky crawlers, but this one is pretty awesome. Also, I got this from my cousin. This is one of the games I kept from him. And the last game I have to talk about here is that other game I've been talking about since the beginning of the video today. When I took my mother to that GameStop so I could see what they had. And there was a couple of expensive games like Metroid Prime Trilogy. And I was like, oh, that's really expensive. I won't be able to afford that. Or this game right here. And she was like, just give it me. I'll buy them for you. I was like, God damn it. Xenoblade Chronicles. When I got this game was going for like $75. I think it was an exclusive through GameStop. The only place you could really get it was there. And they had one copy of it, and I was like, oh, I really, really want that game, even though I'm probably never going to be able to get around to playing it. And she was just like, just give it to me, and she bought it for me because moms. And it's an RPG, and it's like, I guess, minimum 100 hours gameplay. If you really want to do everything, it's like 250 hours or something like that. It frightens me, the amount of time I'd have to sink into this game. And I have the sequel for the Wii U. But absolutely had to have it because I want all the RPGs, never have time to play them. Should I play that this year? Because since I say 2020 is going to be my year of RPGs, should that be on the list? It'll probably take me all year to beat it with the amount of free time that I have. And that's it. And yes, moms are awesome. Xeno is gorgeous, especially for a Wii game. Yeah, I know. I remember that was the one thing I remember seeing was like, this does not look like a Wii game. This looks like something on the 360. Luckily, I was using the 5-plug thing. I can never remember if it's composite or component, the one with the 5 plugs. But I was using that back then on my HD TV, and I remember a lot of the Wii games looked really, really good. Wii Play and Wii Resort. Yeah, those are the... what's the term that they were using? Casual type games for the Wii that anyone could play. Component. Thank you. I can never remember which one it is. Component is the 5 plugs. But yeah, through those, games look fantastic on the Wii. At least some of them do. Not all of them. Excuse me. So that's it for my Wii collection. Got through that pretty quickly. I thought it was going to be more than 2 hours because I had over 100 games. So managed to burn through that in 1 hour and 45 minutes. Yay me. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week I'll be back with, I do believe, the first part of my Xbox 360 collection. And I am going to start working on more edited content. I've been lacking on that for a while, since Christmas. Like I said, I still have my top 10 NES games response from Captain Algebra. It's already been filmed. I just need to edit it together. Also have my licensed games, Diamonds in the Rough video, which has been filmed. I just need to edit it together. Also going to be releasing a lot of stuff in the lead up to the Midwest Gaming Classic at the beginning of April. So I'm going to have my top 5 things I'm looking for at the Midwest Gaming Classic video up within at least a week or two. And a couple other things. There's going to be an announcement video for the panel that I'm going to be on at the convention. And I have a lot more stuff planned. These games that I'm playing for the Super Enabler Brothers podcast with the I'll talk about it again. The Super Enabler Brothers podcast that I'm doing with Jason of Corpse Flood Gaming. One of the things we're doing is Jason bought a roulette wheel, like a little play roulette wheel that has like 38 spots on it, 38 numbers on it. And we pick 38 games in our backlog that we want to play. So every episode, we spin the wheel, throw the ball in there, and whatever number it lands on coincides with our list of backlog games, and we play that game. No questions asked. And the one that I got this past episode for the first episode was Metroid Zero Mission, and I'm almost done with it. It's going to be the first retro game I've beaten probably 2 years, which is kind of sad. And I might start reviewing the games that I beat for the podcast. So you might see a review of Metroid Zero Mission pop up on my channel at some point. We'll see how that goes. I also have my Retron 77 review that I've been working on for like a year because I'm stupid and lazy. And yeah, see you next week for the next video game collection live stream. Thank you, everybody. Midwest Gaming Classic is my favorite convention for games. It's the only one that I've ever been to, but it's great, and I don't see the need to go to any other ones, so I highly recommend it if you're in the Midwest. It's awesome. First weekend of April, and I cannot wait. Get to meet all my friends and hang out with them for a couple of days. Any Wii games I'm after? Not really. But usually it's something that sneaks up on me. I'm not even thinking about Wii games, and then I go to a store and I'm like, oh, that one. So, we'll see. So, thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I will see you next week if you plan to come back. I hope you do. So, Chris, the old-ass retro gamer, signing off. And I'm going to go and cough up a lung in the next room. Have a good night, everybody.